In this case study video, we're going to go through the exact 4 steps that business owner and father James took to lose 17 kg, that's 2.5 stone and over 6 inches off his waist using the GSD program. Now, as you can see, left to right photos, absolutely sensational transformation to his body. And this is a little bit about James. Now, he's a dad of 1, he's a business owner, quite a few staff, he's loved golf, not the sport, the car, not the car, sorry, the sport. But he hated his body. He was embarrassed to be seen with his top off, and there was daily reminders of how out of shape he was, how he hated his body, and how he wanted to make a change. But for years, he was dipping his toe in, but never really seeing the changes that he wanted. For years, he hated his body. He'd never be seen with his top off. There was even a point where he wouldn't be seen with his top off in front of his missus, or he felt nervous having his top off in front of his missus. There was even a point where he went on holiday once. He was telling me that he went on holiday with his friends and they were all getting in the hot tub and he wouldn't go in the hot tub because he didn't want to take his top off. So he made an excuse of he's got to jump on a work call. He didn't. He just didn't want to be seen with his top off. So he was very embarrassed by his body, and he knew he wanted to change. He wanted to change for years. He just didn't know what he needed to do. And there was daily reminder of this, like putting on his work shirt or a t-shirt and he'd be hugging the midsection or fastening his seatbelt and the seatbelt digging into his stomach. Just daily, a constant reminder of how out of shape and how unfit and how unhealthy and just how much he didn't like the guy that he was living. And every single day in his head, these worries, these doubts, these self-esteem issues were just building and building and building. But he didn't know what he needed to do in the gym, like a lot of guys. I was the same when I was younger. I didn't know what I needed to do in the gym, and he was the same. He was going to the gym sporadically. But when you don't know what you need to do in the gym, you've got little confidence in the gym, you start to doubt yourself, you start to get confused, and you start to think, well, what's the point? Because I don't know if this is actually going to help. And with that, you take less action. You start to go to the gym less. So he had a gym membership for years, but never really saw any kind of change within that. And he more saw it at some stages just like a tick box exercise than anything else. He was eating out of convenience most days, going to Tesco's, going to Subway, going to McDonald's, you name it, because it was just quick and easy, but that wasn't helping the waistline at all. Also, sitting down all day wasn't helping the waistline. Being stressed with obviously managing a business, being a dad, he was kind of leaning on booze a little bit to unwind. So get to the end of the day, even it might be like 1 or 2 bottles, for example, but most days he was drinking. So this was 1, adding the calories up, 2, making him eat more snacks. So like on an evening, crisps, chocolates, you name it, just raiding the cupboards because he'd had a few drinks, probably not eating that well during the day either. So he was raiding the cupboards. Also, booze affects your sleep. So that's going to kind of add to low motivation, right? And he also had a very sociable lifestyle. He liked to go out on the weekends, like after golf, for example, or with his missus or with friends. Do you know what I mean? Just enjoying those kind of things with life. But he always saw these as a massive struggle of getting into the best shape that he could and he just wanted to be confident with who he was as a person and not worry about how he was looking, how he was feeling, and what maybe other people were thinking about him. And that's one thing that we've massive achieved for him. And on July 2023, so just a few months ago now, still in fantastic shape, still got 6 packs, arms are looking awesome. I'm super, super happy with the transformation that he's made. And I'm going to walk you through exactly every single detail we've done to be able to make this happen. And I just want to show you it's not a one-trick pony. I've done it for many, many other guys as well. Many other guys in the same position, busy careers, very driven, very ambitious, kids at home, putting themselves at the bottom of the pile, probably like you watching this right now, but know that they want more in life, but they just don't know how to slot it into their busy schedule, how to step out of the ruts that they're in. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to lose 5 inches off the waist. I'm going to show you how to lose over 2 stone. And I'm going to show you how to do it whilst juggling the busy career, busy lifestyle, being driven, being ambitious, like James was with his own business, but also whilst you're trying to be an amazing father or you're trying to be a great husband. And I want mostly for you to maintain it, because I think that's what a lot of guys struggle with. One of all is just getting to that point anyway of where you are super happy with your body. Like I said with James, he'd never been in good shape. James had never been to that place where he's super happy, super content with the guy that he'd been. 30 plus years later, we obviously meet and he's transformed that in a few months. But he'd never been to that place where a few other guys that I work with have a sports background, rugby, football, cricket even, where they're quite active and they stay in relatively good shape, but maybe still not ultra happy, but sport keeps them at a good level. But when career starts flying, when you become a dad, time just gets reduced. Priorities change, energies change, and then you go to the bottom of the pile, right? But this is where I want to change that and understand that you could be operating at your absolute best. Like I said with James, he smashed through that ceiling that he thought he had. He didn't even know the guy that he could be. He just wanted to lose a bit of belly fat. Where now he's operating on a fucking fantastic level where he's 3 times his business size, is the most confident he's ever been in his life, the happiest that he's ever been in his life with his body, feels fit, feels energetic, feels strong, super content with who he is. And like I said, managed to maintain that as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's what I want to show you in this video. Now, what I won't be doing, I won't tell you to run every day to drop fat because James didn't run once. I'm not going to tell you that you need to go to the gym twice a day, 6 days a week, because you're not a bodybuilder and it's not going to fit in your lifestyle. And that's probably a million miles away from where you're at right now anyway. For a lot of guys that come to me, they don't really train that much, don't exercise very often, like maybe every couple of months. I'm not going to make you eat chicken and broccoli for every meal because that's boring and you're just not going to enjoy that. And if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick at it. And if you're not going to stick at it, you're just going to go back to your bad habits and old habits, which have obviously led you to watch this video. I'm not going to tell you that you can't eat with your family on an evening because you can. I eat with my wife and my daughter every single evening and I feel like I'm in good shape. I'll show you the next slide. And I won't make you believe that alcohol's forbidden if you want to lose the gut. Like I said, James is very sociable with his golf, with friends and stuff on a weekend. So we needed to make a process that works for that as well. And it is doable. Now, a little bit of an insight into me. Left-hand side, that's me in my, I think I'm 21 there. So very skinny fat, skinny legs, skinny arms, holding a lot of fat in the midsection. Look at the stomach, man, sticking out. And my lifestyle just led to that point. I was drinking quite a lot. I was eating takeaways quite a lot. Didn't really exercise that much. I did enjoy the gym, but I was like James, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I just do chest days more than anything. Obviously, it didn't work. I didn't feel fit, didn't feel strong, and I just didn't look good. And it was massively affecting my confidence. I wanted to be masculine. I wanted to be confident. I wanted to be athletic, get that toned look. And I just never had that. And I was the same for years, dipping my toe into stuff, trying different things, never really seen it as a priority. But I knew that I wanted it as a priority. I just wasn't doing the work to get there. So I didn't know how to do it. And it was leaving me stuck. And for years I was stuck and I never asked for help. I never asked for guidance. That's the one thing that I wish I did, because I know that with a bit of guidance, a bit of structure, with some support and doing the right things, you can transform your body within months. And I'm going to show you in the next slide what that looks like. But this is me now. I'm a dad, I'm married, I'm a business owner, and I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in. I feel fit, I feel strong, feel athletic, and I love how I look and feel. And that's exactly what I want for every single guy that comes in my program, to the GSD program. That's what I want for you. And it all takes a little bit of focus. So let's get into that process. Now, this is a bit of an overview that I send to my clients. So just to give them a good idea of what the journey can look like and what we should be setting our targets to be. Now, this is a bit more of a rough guide for you, just to give you what is the minimum. Now, you want to be aiming for around 1% of total body weight lost per week on average. So if you're 100 kg, for example, 15.5 stone, you want to be losing around 1 kilogram a week. Now, it's not linear for most people. It will go up and down, but as long as the trend, like here, is going down, then you're winning. So you want to be around 1%. But what I've done with this is I've actually gone for 0.5. I've shown you how how much you can change even on the slowest level. This is, I'm talking minimum if you're doing things right. At least 8 kg, so 1.5 stone down in 16 weeks. And you might think, really, that doesn't sound like a lot. But like I said, most guys come into my program anywhere from 5 up to one guy, 15 years, out of shape, unhappy with his body, trying bits, trying this, trying that, but nothing ever sticking. And if anything, for most people, most guys, each year getting worse. So I would say 1.5 stone in 16 weeks is absolutely fantastic. But I want to caveat that way. That is literally the minimum that you should be aiming for. Minimum. I just want to show you what's kind of possible within that time frame. So this is something I give my guys just as a rough copy. Take a screenshot right now so you can then maybe put your own together to give you an understanding of what your journey can look like. So let's get into the process that massively helped James transform his body and completely shift the guy that he is today. So the objective when he first came on board, shift the gut, look good, feel good. So there's 4 elements to this, and I'm going to walk you through every single 4 element in as much detail as possible to give you as much clarity as possible. So your calorie intake is always going to dictate if you lose or you gain weight. So your calories is the number one important factor when you're trying to shift fat. I advise my guys to track their calories. It gives them an insight into how much they're eating, gives them a level of organization, a level of insight into what they're eating, and some flexibility. So James started on 2,400 calories when we first got together. Then at the end of it, near the end, he was around 2,100. That's the only 2 changes we made. So around 2,400 is what he needed to shift fat. So it gives you an element of flexibility or an element of assurance to think that, well, as long as I'm eating that, I can kind of eat what I want within that realm and I will lose fat and lose weight. So it takes that element of, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be within the 2,400 calories. So that means that you can go out and have a few pizza, for example, or have a few beers, or go to a party, go to a wedding, go for a night out. And as long as you're hitting that 2,400 mark, you're winning. So that's the first thing we stuck to, and so the first thing principles we kind of played with is as long as you stick to that, there's no good and bad food, there's just good and bad diets. And I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail in the next few slides. But the calorie intake is going to be the biggest game changer for your body. So that's the number one thing you need to prioritize. After that, it's your day-to-day movement. I get my guys to track the steps. Best investment you'll have is an activity watch to understand what your day-to-day movement looks like. And this is going to give you 2 things. First of all, if you move more, it creates a bigger gap between your intake, so how many calories you're consuming, and what your output is. That's going to mean that you can lose fat a little bit quicker. Or if you move more, you burn more calories, it just means you can eat that little bit more, meaning you've got more flexibility. Because if you've got more calories to play with, you've got more flexibility to enjoy the finer things in life and still know with confidence you're going to lose fat. So you need to focus on these 2 things. This is what we focused on with James. Every single week, we tracked his steps over the week, not just day by day, but over the week, just to see how much he was moving and if we could push that ever so slightly to speed up the process within the realms of his lifestyle, of course. And obviously tracking his calories to be able to create the deficit you need to drop fat. So those 2 are the main things you need to be focusing on. Now, if you want a lean physique like I've got, like James has got and wanted to attain, you want to be keeping some muscle. That's the bare minimum, if not building it. That's what definition, that's what tone looks like. It's dropping fat to show muscle. So there's 2 things we need to focus on with that. We need to be focusing on our training. So James was hitting the gym 3 times a week. Most of my guys, anywhere from 3 to 4 times a week is the average of what they train. So James was training in the gym 3 times a week, and then he actually started kitting out his garage, lucky, and started training at home. But when we first got together, we were hitting the gym, and the biggest thing that we needed to focus on was the programming, because he never even followed a program in his life. He just, like I said, went to the gym, did some things that he knew, things that he liked, but never saw the changes in his strength, in his muscle, anything really, when he was going. So the first thing is we need to put a program together, because that's how you create change and create a focus and know with confidence within it, you've got an agenda when you go into the gym. So we had a 3-day program, and I call it the PPF method. Why I created this PPF method is because there's kind of a few rules you want to follow when you go into the gym. One of those rules is hitting muscle groups twice a week. It's going to optimize your training and optimize your levels of being able to build muscle. So we did push, pull, and full. That's what the PPF method is. So push day was chest, shoulders, triceps, and quads. Pull day was back, hamstrings, and then full was obviously full body. And the second element of why this is a good way to do it is because a lot of people say if you're going to go 3 times a week, they'll say, oh, you need to do full body. But what I find with that is there's no flexibility with it, because you need to recover. So you can't train Monday and Tuesday, because by Tuesday you're going to be fucked from Monday. So it's quite rigid. Where I find if you do the push, the pull, and the full, you can actually have back-to-back days. So the push and the pull, because they're opposing muscles, you don't need to have recovered to do the pull session, because all the push exercise movements are recovering. A recovery. So that's why I think it's good, because it's quite adaptable, it's quite flexible, but you're still getting in the elements of training your muscle groups twice a week. So that's why we put that in. Other training programs put in place. So if you're doing 4 days, for example, upper lower split is fantastic for that. And it's something I do with my other guys, and there's other variations. But you want to making sure you're hitting the gym. Two, you've got a program that you're following, and you're hitting muscle groups twice a week, and you are making sure that you are monitoring your progression. But I'm going to go into that in more depth in just 1 second. The fourth element is making sure you're having enough protein in your diet. So the rule is 1 gram per pound of goal body weight. So let's say, just roughly, you want to be 82 kg. That's 180 pounds. So it means you want to be consuming around 180 grams of protein to maximize you maintaining / building some muscle whilst you're on this journey. And I would recommend splitting that over 3 or 4 meals. So if it's 4 meals, that's 45 grams of protein per meal. That's what I would be focusing on. And that's what we focused on with James. So with James, obviously, we got him to track his calories, we got to track his protein. That was a priority. And I put him some recipe guides together for the family, recipe guides together for variety, to be able to give him some flexibility in his diet, to be able to enjoy his food. I've got like a members area full of like recipe guides that we put in place to be able to help him just kind of have some enjoyment in his life and not follow the boring trend of, like I said, chicken and broccoli. So that's what we did with the nutrition. Obviously, guided him on how to enjoy nights out, enjoy a few beers, and still stay on track, and giving him the kind of few little game plan and strategies that we put in place within the GSD program that keeps you in momentum. So that's what we did with his nutrition. Obviously, with his training, like I said, give him the agendas of making sure he's got a program to follow, making sure that he knows how to progress. And that's the last thing I want to touch on is we just focus on improving over time. We monitor the progression. So we monitor the calories, we monitor the steps, monitor the gym sessions, monitor where those calories are coming from. So like your proteins, your fats, your carbs. Because when you monitor things and then you monitor the results, so we did his weight measurements, photos every single week to see what the changes were looking like. We looked at his adherence. Obviously, I'm there to support him, to guide him, to obviously push him and keep him accountable as well, to actually make the radical change to his body that he wanted. And like I say, we monitor everything, because then you take the emotion out of the process. You build out routine and habits that are going to last you for the lifetime, and you can then start to understand where the weak areas are that need strengthening and what's going really well and what we can kind of double down on. So that's how we built out his kind of journey, built out his process, and basically got him to the place that he is at right now. And that's exactly what I want for you, obviously, watching this. So now that you understand exactly how the GSD program works and the results that I get, I've actually got an offer for you. Because I do find that this process, as simple as it is, it's not easy. Because if it was easy, you, your mates, your family, everyone in the world would be in fantastic shape and loving their body. But unfortunately, it's going in the opposite direction. And this is something that I hate to see. I want to help as many guys as possible be operating at their best, smash through that glass ceiling. James never thought he'd be in the position where he is today, where he's skyrocketed his business. He's absolutely the best shape that he's ever been in. He's hitting his true potential. And that's what I want for every single guy. So my offer to you, I want to help you lose at least 5 inches off the belly in less than 100 days. Finally understand how to do that in a way that works for you around the family, works for you around the business, works for you, that's enjoyable and it's maintainable, because I want it to slot into your life. It shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be something that takes over your life. It should be something that emphasizes a great life. It should be something that helps you create a better life, and something that shifts your identity to thinking, this is me forever now. And I love this. I love how I feel. I love how I look, and I love the lifestyle that I lead. And that's what I want for you. So that's my offer to you. I want to help you lose at least 5 inches off the waist in less than 100 days. And I'm so confident in that we can make it work for you as an individual, that if you follow everything that we put together, that we agree upon, I'm not going to make you do something stupid just to get the 5 inches off the waist. I want it to be manageable for you and agree upon. But if you still don't get the results that you want, I'll just refund you every single penny. That's how confident I am with this GSD program, with my processes, and the many, 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 many guys that I've helped in the past. All you need to do, go to the description below, click the link, book a call. On the call, I'll find out where you're at right now. I'll find out what your true goal is. We'll bridge that gap in between, going, well, what's holding us back? Is it an environment issue? Is it support? Is it time management? Is it a lack of understanding of nutrition? Is it don't know what you need to do in the gym? Is it all the above? And then I can start to understand who you are as a person and who you are as a guy. And if you are a good fit, one, for the program, two, if the program can help, and if I do believe that you're going to show up for yourself. If I think that you're going to tick all those boxes, then I'll offer you a space on the program, and I'll offer you this to lose at least 5 inches off the waist in less than 100 days, or your money back. So all you need to do right now, and I think this is going to be the best decision you make today, click the link, book a call, and let's transform that body and let's transform your life. I'll speak soon.